Thank you, Your Worship. Understanding why and how an ROI calculation is used is important. The ROI is one of the tools used to assess an investment. And how it is used is that the resulting ROI percentage, if negative, would imply that the project does not provide a good return. To help decide at what point a project has a good return, target ROI ranges are used. Standard targets for ROI ranges in the private business sector are often 7 or 8%. In the development sector, the ranges can be 15 to 20%, and some developers may require 25%. But most ROIs of 15% or greater are considered excellent. So looking at the calculation, the ROI is based on estimates and assumptions using the town's available information. For the property tax revenues, there is a net present value calculation required. And when preparing that ROI calculation, I used the revenue stream in perpetuity. And I recently had the opportunity to chat with a consultant who regularly calculates ROI information, and I shared my calculation, and I asked for some feedback. And the consultant indicated that they would calculate the ROI in the same manner, and that they do cap their timeline at 20 years, and that's done for 2 reasons. After 20 years, the results become so small that they are not that significant to consider in the calculation, and it is easier for the public to understand a timeline of 20 years as opposed to in perpetuity. So the result was they would arrive at an ROI of 250% rather than the 300%. And the consultant suggested there are also other returns on the investment that may not have been considered in the calculation, such as additional property tax revenues that will come from new businesses and residents that will build there as a result of the beachfront development. So in discussion with the consultant, we agreed that the project benefits far exceeded typical ROI target levels. The ROI calculation approach was the same, with a modification in the assumptions used for the property tax timeline between the two of us. Both assumption calculations drew similar conclusions, and the ROI is well beyond the maximum 25% target ROI, and the project has an excellent return. So I hope that just provides a little bit of information for everyone on what that calculation is, how it's used. The bottom line is that return is very, very high and very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn, and I'll look to Councillor Belanger. Councillor Belanger?
Yes, thank you, through the mayor. The reason this is on today's agenda again, this came to council a while ago, and the reason likely why we did a peer review is, unfortunately, there are those in our community, a very few, that publish inaccurate and misleading information on social media, not to protect or further our community, but rather to further their own political ambitions. In fact, their actions cost the taxpayer money, as staff need to respond with accurate information as we have today. I have now been on council more than 10 years, and what this council has been able to accomplish in the previous 2 years in concert with our excellent town team is unprecedented and impressive, and includes securing $131 million in provincial funding to improve our community. The benefits to our community are many, our future is bright, and the majority of residents I speak to just say, keep it going and get it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Belanger. Deputy Mayor Snell.
Thank you, Your Worship, through you. Obviously, there's been a fair bit of time. I understand the peer review came at no financial cost to our taxpayers, but what would be your guesstimate, Jocelyn, in terms of yourself and your team, that in terms of hours that you've spent responding to one individual's questions, which is great. We want people to ask questions, but when they're shown the answer and then still continue to pursue, I'm just curious, how much time have you invested in this?
Through your worship, possibly a day, when I was responding, because I wanted to go back through all the information again and then draft an email that I felt was appropriate and would give enough information. I think the question was valid. It's a very, very good ROI, so I think the question's valid. So I spent that time to try and provide that information that would give the confidence to the person asking the question that the information was there and they could work with it. After that, they again asked for more detailed information. At that point, I was busy closing the year end and conveyed that I did not have time to respond that quickly. And I figured at this point, with what had been there in the social media, it's in the public's best interest if I just respond through a report and provide all the information for everyone to receive the message the same way. So again, there was time spent on writing this staff report, and I'll be honest with you, it's probably in the neighborhood of 20, 25 hours, somewhere in there. Most of this time is my own time, some of it's company time, but generally I'm so busy, I do these after hours on my own time.
Thank you. That's disheartening to hear, but thank you for your commitment, excuse me, to sharing accurate information and to the residents of this community. And I hope, going forward, in my opinion anyways, no further time should be spent on this. You've exhausted it and shared everything as transparently as we possibly can. And, I get it, it's a big number, like you say, of an ROI, but how blessed are we that this deal was able to be struck to get these types of projected results. So I'm glad to see the issue be put to bed for finality.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Snell. Councillor Timms.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think everything I have to add has already been said, and just want to say it's such a good news story, and it's very exciting, and thank you for your hard work. And it's a shame that you have to work on your own time, because I know you have a heavy load.
Thank you, Councillor Timms. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I would just echo what everyone has said already. And, thank you, Jocelyn, first of all, for doing whatever it takes to get the job done. And we find that with you and with the rest of our staff, that's just what happens. The good folks of Wasaga Beach, for the most part, have no idea how much work gets done in the walls of these buildings in a day, a week, a month, and a year. I had no idea prior to becoming a mayor that, it's just never ending. And there's often days and times where it's daunting and it's almost overwhelming. Yet our staff continue to plug along and get it done. We're a very lean community. As I've said many times before, we're some 80 employees short of other municipalities are of our size. That doesn't mean, don't panic, we're not going out tomorrow and hire 80 people. But what it does mean is that the people we have, the great people that we have, are working. And they're working hard. And I couldn't be more proud as the mayor of the team at this municipality. I agree with Deputy Mayor Snell. I don't think we need to spend another second on this. So we do have, if there's no other questions or comments on this matter, seeing none, we do have a motion that the report titled Beachfront Redevelopment Return on Investment to the council meeting of April 10th, 2024 be received for information. The only thing I'll add is that, again, when we look at the beachfront and properties that this town has purchased, it was never purchased and it was never about the money. It was about gaining control, taking back control and being able to finally develop and move our community forward. We just did the same thing with 304 Main Street. It's not about the money. It's about doing what's right and best to move our community forward. I've read the motion. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Snell, seconded by Councillor Belanger. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Your Worship. Councillor Belanger.
In favor.
Councillor DeLeo.
In favor.
Councillor Eagle.
In favor.
Deputy Mayor Snell.
In favor.
Councillor Timms.
In favor.
Councillor White.
300% in favor.
Mayor Smith.
In favor.
Carries unanimously.